Welcome back to Clooney Garage. It's Commodore Sunday, and I've got my partner in crime here. Look out! Woohoo, Frankie! What do you got there? Oh,
mate, we splashed out and bought this strut brace, and then we didn't fit it. So
right,
sounds like a good day as any to have a go.
Yeah, very good. So that's going to complement our coilovers and all the work we've done on our bushes, Frankie, and tighten up our understeering race car.
Well, hoping it makes a difference and might make us go slower.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Whiteline, take us through what comes in the kit.
Well, you get one of these and they go on top of your strut there, and it just stops the strut moving back and forward.
Yep.
They come with this Ute aluminium curvy looking brace.
Oh.
Wow, look at that. And that'll join them in the middle here.
Yep.
And they're clever blokes at Whiteline.
Yeah, right.
So they've used these two bosses here on the strut, and you just have to drill an 8mm hole through the middle of them to get your bolts in. And they've got a little bush. I'll get one off here. Ooh. Sorry, I should have had one ready, shouldn't I? Just a little bush, it's got a little bit of a taper on it. You drop it in there, and hey presto, she's all nice and flush. Oh. And it can take the load of your bolt.
Very nice.
So we've just got to drill the holes through here. We're going to bolt those two on, then mark our hole that goes over here, because there's goodness knows where that hole's going. Mm. And yeah, we'll get to a bit of drilling. All
right, Frankie, let's get stuck into it. So have you read the instructions, Frankie?
Well, you reckon I didn't need to, but I did have a quick look, and what do you know, there are a couple of little tips in here. Ooh. You might want that.
No,
what we're going to do is we'll just get our 8mm drill bit, shove it through here with our little guide, and hopefully we don't hit anything.
I've resurrected the instructions, Frankie, because I think we're going to need them. What's going on?
Yeah, you keep going back those instructions, but we've mocked this up. We've got 2 bolt holes here, and it's just loose, so I'm just going to bolt them up snugly so I can mark this point here. They've got little wedges that go underneath, so we've got the wheel off here, and we'll bolt these 2 up, mark it with our little marker, hit it with our centre punch, and hopefully we get the hole in the right place.
Oh, very nice. All right. Nice. So look, you've got your nankang hanging off there, Frankie. So,
yeah, so they're just going up here. These little nuts. You can see them. So we'll mock them up.
Righto.
Drill another hole.
Let's do it. Now, Frankie, I hear you're going to hammer for a Mandalorian. Is that what you're doing?
Well, we've got our gentle persuader, or Americans know it as, and so hitting on Commodores is what I'm all about.
Right, okay.
So let's give it a bit of a belt in, and we'll mark our hole and drill another one.
Well, you know what they say about green cars, Frankie?
Your bad luck. Just ask Dick Johnson.
Yes, ghosts, goblins, and sometimes Mandalorians. I'll leave you to it. So, Frankie, they say the best laid plans always come unstuck. What do you got there? You got sticking pipe cleaners up things? What's going on?
Well, we've just got a damaged thread in this thing. I did buy it second hand, and someone was obviously out of play. And
yes.
Yeah.
That's what Facebook Marketplace, Frankie. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's very true.
So you're just going to try and rethread that, or I have to tap?
Yeah, well, I haven't got a tap and die set, so we're going to have to use the nut to try and just clean out these threads and
butcher it.
Yeah.
All right,
we're good at that.
We're good at that, aren't we? All right, we'll come back. Well, this has been good fun, Frankie. You wouldn't want to do this on the night before going to the track, would you?
No, that's what we were planning to do at one stage, isn't it?
Yeah. So what are you doing now? You're just getting the length right?
Yeah, we'll try and get this corresponding length of there. We should be able to shove that in, and Bob's your auntie.
Right. So we had, as we mentioned, a few dramas on that thread, but we soon sorted that out.
Yep.
Bit of ballast style, it's always good, and now he's got to get that angle right.
Yeah, we'll just wind her in a little bit more, and looks like it even clears. So.
Oh, jeez. Now, main thing's clearing those brake lines there, Frankie.
Yeah, the ABS is sticking up, and she should be fine.
Now, I did see your shower cap here. That's very nice.
Good bit of engineering there, isn't it?
Yep. And tell all the viewers what you're doing here.
Well, they've got to go, and they're ugly, and they're in the way, and they weigh a lot. And we don't need a heater, so
no,
she's got to go.
So
I bought the little loopy-doop to go in here, but of course I forgot to bring it today.
Oh. So that's just going to put a return on it, so and then delete all those lines, yeah?
Yeah, there's a bit of controversy of whether that's the best way to do it or to block them off completely, so we're going to do it the bodgy way.
All right.
That's what the snot box is all about.
Oh, Jesus, stop it. So, Frankie, every mod's got a purpose, so talk to us the theory behind tying these two struts together and what benefit we're going to try to get.
Well, struts obviously are mounted at the top and they can deflect a little bit, which just changes the geometry of the car, and it also tightens this, boxes this section in, and being a big lug right at the front here and nothing basically at the back, she's quite an understeery car, so we're hoping to fix a little bit of that and stiffen her up, so maybe that turns into a little bit of time. Well, let's hope so.
Yeah, well, I think particularly when you run a bit of camber on the front too, Frankie, you want all the grip that you can get mechanically. You've obviously got K-frames and sway bars that go underneath the engine, but as you're saying, that the top of the strut towers here, they can flex.
Yeah. So say you've got some negative camber, and then you put all the load in the front and the top of the strut flexes, and you end up with no camber. No. So that's what we're trying to avoid. Stiff as we can. Stiffen
it all up. That's what it's all about. So, Frankie, how much was this little Whiteline kit that you bought here for the viewers, just in case they're thinking of doing it?
I think they're a couple of $100. I think we'll give them a report once we get it on the track and see if it's worthwhile or not.
Yeah.
But it's a cheap little mod. Obviously, you've got to drill a couple of holes, which if you've got a collector's car, you might not feel like doing. But
the other car that I have seen that has done this is Big Will with his VE Ute as well. So it's definitely for those race cars that are out there.
Yeah, he's punting around Bathurst and a few other big tracks like that. So hopefully he's made a difference to him, and it'll make a little bit of difference for us.
That's it. Let's do it. All right, so that's the latest mod on our VE Ute. And I thought we'd take you back in history a little bit on all the mods we've done and what sort of lap times and improvements we've gotten with the VE, because it started off as a hail damaged wreck. You probably saw it. It was snotbox green, was why we called it snotbox. You know, a bit of a Kermit action there, but that's all. Probably not our choice in colours. That's why we painted it matte black, but that's all right. So when we first got the Ute, we took it out to Wakefield Park, bone stock suspension. We just fitted some Nitto NT05 semi-slicks, you know, pretty cheap sort of, track day tyre for those enthusiasts. And for everyone's record, we had a 280 rear wheel kilowatt tune on the 6 litre, about 160,000 kilometres on this donk, so it's getting a bit long in the tooth. It's always been, always serviced and looked after. But we put an OTR, headers, exhaust and a tune in it, and pretty impressive to get 280 rear wheel kilowatts, and that's at the tyres, not at the hubs as well. So, that's pretty healthy. And Jim Bob at Gentech gave us a magic tune, so thank you. Anyway, so we took it out, a couple of rookie drivers and me and Frankie, and after we went in the track school Toyota 86, we got to know Wakefield. Yeah, we're not nutties when it comes to race around on a racetrack, but our best lap, in the Toyota 86 was on 1:17, which is a bit slow, when you've got an instructor there and you're trying to drive sedately, albeit off a couple of corners there. So we managed consistently in the opening sessions 1:18s, and then we actually got to a 1:16, both me and Frankie. Well, we're pretty happy with that because it was understeering all over the show, stock suspension. People sort of said to us, you guys are going to go out there and fly off the track, and we did do that, but your brakes are going to run out. Our brakes were fine. So all this talk about brakes lasting one lap at Wakefield, they're a bit, grain of salt with those comments. Main issues with your brakes is brake fluid, and we'll talk about that in another episode. So, but our old pads, because the car was so well maintained, it had fantastic pads in it, but we just thought we'd step the game up a little bit with some Ferrotos, and I purchased some DB rotors as well. And we actually went out on a Gemini track day, no nat soft timing unfortunately, but we were keeping up with cars consistently there around the 114s. So there were quite a few quick little daddos getting around, and a couple of the Gemmy boys, and we were consistently keeping up with them. So whilst it was, to be confirmed on that setup, but we were quicker than our first time out on 1:16. So already we're dropped 2 seconds, so that's pretty good. Then Fred got a bit serious, and he was sick of driving around on a shopping trolley and was leaning all over the show. So I splashed out and got some coilovers. I got some BC Racing coilovers, top of the range for BC. Even though BCs aren't the world's best coilovers, they're pretty good. External reservoirs, fully adjustable. I bought a set of Nankangs, AR1s, and people might look down their nose a little bit, the Nankangs. I reckon they're a pretty good tyre for the money. And I threw some Hawk pads in, but we didn't have any ABS working, however. And Frankie was pumping out the 112s, doing very, very well. And I managed to squeeze in a lap of the gods and did a 111.2. And unfortunately I was held up by a BMW production car, and I reckon I could have easily have cracked into the 110s, but I come in, tyres were way over 40 psi, they were hot, and then we lost the best part of the day. And later that day I went into the kitty litter being too greedy as well. But that just showed us that you could get an amazing setup with those coilovers and some better pads, albeit without ABS working. Then we thought we were too cool for school, so then we went out and said, right, we've got that sort of performance on the BCs, let's ratchet them up to full hard, let's stiffen everything up, let's drop the temperature in our tyres, because 40 coming in is too hot, so let's go down to 28 cold and see where they get to, and let's forget to turn the stability control off. That was a mistake by me, but we had a heap of traffic, and we were able to do consistent 111s, but high 111, so 111.8 was the best we could do. And that was with the car understeering all over the show and the tyres falling off the rim. So you can just imagine there was a 10 in that session every time if I managed to pull it together, which I didn't. So now where we're going, we've wound back our coilovers. We've heard lots of feedback from everyone. Midpoint setting's the way to go, particularly on a big car like that. We've gotten a better wheel alignment done. We've talked to some chassis tuners. We've got a lot more, we've actually got a bit of toe out. We've got a bit of negative camber. We've fitted the front strut base. That's what today's episode's been about, to really get some torsional stiffness in the front end of that car. We are going to change our tyre pressures. We're probably going to go out 32 cold and then see where they get to, and hopefully come in at about 37, 38, particularly with those Nankangs. That seems to be where we're at anyway. And I reckon, if I'm a betting person, we could be south of a 111, hit a 110, and if everything lines up and I manage to stitch the lap together, and Frankie does too, we reckon there's a 110 or a 19 in it, which will be pretty amazing with this sort of power level. So stick with us, we're going to get there in a couple of weeks. I've got a gut feeling that the Nankangs might be starting to fall away, but yeah, let's see how we go. Catch you later.